Good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's the Saintsman here. Small van driver on the CX. I have the sunglasses on because I look like shit. Hayfever. The Hayfever bomb arrived and wow, hits me badly. So, do you want to see that? Or that? Looks pretty cool actually. But we'll try without. Yeah, got massive hay fever. It affects me every year. It has done since I've been about 10 years age. So it's about 50-year anniversary of hay fever. Whoopie do. Hey, we'll crack on. Had a good week last week. Worked hard. Had a one really long day that got me over the line really on Wednesday. Come to that in a minute. We'll go back. My fuel prices have gone up slightly. The cheapest fuel was BP UK fuels, which worked out with VAT at 132.15. My UK fast fuels is 133.32. So last week we used the BP UK fuels. So next week they're virtually the same and they've gone up again, almost tums. So what's going on? I don't know. It still works out a lot cheaper than pump prices. I don't see anywhere we can get fuel at 132. So still using the cards. Monday, I hadn't got a job booked in. And then I got it normal time and a job popped up from Northampton to Swindon. And it's a job I've done a fair few times for this shipper. And I quoted it. Same price, it's still good money. Swindon, it's not a bad area, I suppose. So we got that done. Picked it up at 9 o'clock. So it wasn't an early start. And then got to Swindon and looking for jobs around Swindon, not a lot. And there was a lot of not shippers. There was a lot of drivers around, and the jobs were coming out were going as quick as they come on. It was like you had to really grab them, and I thought it's going to be competitive. But there was a job from Whitney, which is to the west of Oxford, and it was to Hinckley, which is a pretty good area normally. So I'd waited quite a while in Swindon, and I quoted on it, including the mileage getting there, uh, and I got it and picked it up. It took me a while to get there. There was a lot of trouble. They'd shut a road, the main road, the A34, but I went round through Lambourne, beautiful drive to get to Whitney. It was real strange, but we got there and we got it picked up. Got it there in the time allocated. Uh, Took that to Hinkley, and I thought Hinkley's a really good area, but it was later in the day. It was like 3:30 now, and nothing, not a jot. And I got a job booked in for Tuesday already. It's a job I've done many times. It's Chelmsford, Cambridge, Blue Water, and it's an early pickup. It's pickup 7 o'clock, which suits me fine. So I'd got one booked in Tuesday. So I decided Monday just to sod it, drive home from Hinkley. It's not far, it's 40 miles. So Monday was a pretty poor day. It really was. Money wise, was it my worst day of the week? No, it wasn't. Thursday was worse than that. But we drove home. So we had a rubbish Monday, which is not a good start to the week. But with the job booked in Tuesday, I was hoping Tuesday would be a really good day. It's a good start. It gets you down to Blue Water. I was at Blue Water by midday. I was picked up at, it's a 5 hour run. If nothing goes wrong, it's pick up Northampton, down to Chelmsford, to Cambridge. Don't know why they do it in this order. It's because Chelmsford, their low goods in close at 10 and you can't get in after 10. So it must be there before 10. So you've got to do Chelmsford first, then up to Cambridge, then back down past Chelmsford to get the Blue Water. But it don't matter. You're getting paid pence per mile and it's pretty good money. So we got the Blue Water, 12 o'clock, done. So you're looking for jobs and there wasn't anything. I sat in Blue Water quoting on jobs for the best part of 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. I did have something to eat and I did have a little break and I had a walk around actually. Marks and Spencer's food hall is absolutely enormous. But then there was a job from Rochester to Erith. So it wasn't far, but I quoted on it really good mile. It was 20 odd miles, um, something like it was 30 mile all in. I quoted 40 and got it, and it was taking a windscreen from one branch to another branch in Erith. And the branch in Erith is in the Morrison's car park. So we got that done and thought we're going to struggle now to get anything else, I would imagine. But I was in Erith and there was a job on there from Chelmsford back to Northampton, believe it or not. And right up my street, gets me home, not too late, and I quoted money on it to get there, get the job. Still quoted quite decent, but it wasn't. It was way under what I would normally quote for the morning job. But this is an afternoon job to get you home, and I got a phone call and I got it, and it was two small parts just going to Brackmills, right near where I live. It's 4 miles away. So Tuesday was a good day, really good day. The money down was the one that got me it, and then two jobs, smallish jobs, got me over my target for the day. And I got a job booked in Wednesday from Northampton, and it was from virtually where I dropped off the day before, and it was pick up at 8 o'clock, and it was going to Bradford. Decent. It was 20 boxes going up to Bradford, so it did say involved handballing and all that. I put that in the price really, but when I got there, the boxes were small. They were flat boxes. They're about that thick, and they're about a foot square, and they weighed a kilo each. But it was going to right in the centre of Bradford, BD1, and it was right in the centre. And the offices it was going to were above shops, but luckily they got a loading bay just down the side, and I managed to find it. Bit of a faff, went round the ring in a ring road two or three times before I found it, but I did find it. So that was dropped off, no problem. And the bloke came out with the trolley. We put them on. There wasn't hardly any handballing because he just went straight on this trolley and he took them. So it worked out well, good money. And then I was looking for a job. And I was looking for a job back home, thinking I'll get back for bike night, hopefully. And there wasn't anything going near home, but there was a job on there from Keighley, not far from Bradford, going to Stamfordley Hope, which is Essex. It's hard to say where Stamford Hope is. It's Tilbury, that sort of way. And I thought, well, let's quote and see. Quoted quite high. It was picking up a 7 boxes, which were quite big boxes. They were inverters, and they weighed that's about 40 kilos each. And it was going to a logistics company in Stamford Hope. So there's 300 kilos, and it was classed as a midi van job. So the small van drivers couldn't actually bid on it because they couldn't see it on their feed unless they upped their capacity on their feed. So I quoted quite decent money, really good decent money, and I got it. So off we went to pick them up. Yeah, they weighed a bit. Got help with them putting them on the van, strapped them down, made sure they were safe, and off we went to Stamford Hope, which we just trundled down the A1. Literally A1, picked up the M11, nice and easy. Took us a while um, to get there. It was a 4 hour journey, that got good money. Uh, and I was there, and I thought, well, I'm going to end up staying down in Stamford Hope, tramping. That's not a problem. I'll find somewhere nice. And it was going to be about 6 o'clock when I get to Stamford Hope. And I was about 5 miles from Stamford Hope, and thinking, well, at least I'll get something to eat. I'll probably go and find somewhere. There's a swimming pool, go for a swim, get a shower, and then get something to eat. And a job popped up on my feed, for believe it or not, from Stamford Hope, which I'd never done work out of there, to Colchester. And it was pick up between 6 and 7 at night, and I was going to be in Stamford Hope at 6, delivering. So, and it was 30 something miles. I quoted out well over £1 a mile because I thought at that time of day, is he going to find anyone to do that job? And if I'm going to do it, it's a 40-mile journey, and it was a rush job going to a train. An engineer was working on a train that had broken down in Colchester, and I got it. The phone went straight away. In fact, he was amazed I was so close because there was no driver in Stamford Hope at that time of day. So I probably could have put more money on that, but I'm very happy with the money. It made my day. It really did. I've done two long jobs and a short job where I'm staying out anyway. So we dropped the eight inverters off and picked this one, and it was a pipe, flexi pipe, going from one carriage to another that had snapped on a train. And yeah, picked it up and delivered it to the engineer. I phoned him up. I got a number. Phoned him up before I got there. Good job I did, because he was at the station. He was down over a bridge and round the corner. I'd never have found him if he hadn't have told me how to get there. But we got it done. He was happy because he got the bit. He could get this train going again because it was a broken down train. Great. That's me parked up. I was in a place called Stanway, which is near Colchester, just before Colchester. And there was a park, two or three park for nights on the app I look at. And one was in a Travelodge car park next to a Greggs by the A12, and one was in a village near a church. And I thought the Greggs one sounded nice because it was away from the A12. I could sleep through anything really. And yeah, I thought, well, I ain't going to go there now because it's early. It's about 7:15. So I thought we'll go and get something to eat or go to a pub. And I went to a pub in Stanway. All of a sudden, the realisation came on. It was the European match between West Ham, Essex, West Ham, and whoever they played, some Italian team, Fiorentina, I think. So I went to the pub, and they stopped the food. They'd stopped the food at 7. So I chatted to the lady behind the bar. It was pretty busy. There was seats available, and I said, "Is it all right if I come in just to have a beer?" I said, "You obviously got no food." She said, "No, all we're doing now is crisps and what you can see behind us, which is snacks." I went, "Yeah, I do." So I made a pint of Guinness last, and I managed the football up till half time. I'm not into football, but it was a great atmosphere in the pub, real rocking, and they sing the noise they were making. So we had a night at the pub, and I thought, well, I could only have one pint because I'm driving, and I had a couple of packets of crisps. I'd got some food in my van anyway, so I thought, well, that'll do. Anyway, left that, went to the park for nights, hadn't got nothing booked in for the morning, and slept sound, absolutely sound. I was in bed at 10:30, quarter to 11, slept solid right through till 6:15, 6:30. And that day, that Wednesday, was what I call a really mega day. Two long jobs and a short job took me well over target. It caught me up from Monday and put me ahead of the game. Anyway, woke up and the Greggs opened at 6 and the garage was open for the toilet. I felt great and it was a lovely day. I slept well, put all my kit away. As I'm putting my kit away, the phone pinged and it was a job. And it was pick up Leon C at 8 o'clock, going to Slough. Now, Slough, somebody's going to Slough, everything goes to Slough and not a lot comes out. And I looked at the feed and there wasn't anyone actually in Leon C at the time. It's near Southend. I collected from this place. I quoted quite high on it. It was picking a pallet up, um, freight forward pallet. It was going abroad to freight forwarders. Do that quite a lot in Slough, Colnbrook, round there, Boyle Road. And I quoted quite high because I've got a bit of a journey to get to it. And yeah, I got a phone call. Can you pick it up 8 o'clock? They open at 8. Can you pick it up 8 o'clock? And I said, yeah. So I had to get a bit of a shifty on. And it said it was going to take me, it weren't that long. It was 23 mile, 24 mile. But when you put it in Google, it's nearly 50 minutes because the traffic's beginning to pick up for London. Anyway, we've done it, got it all sorted, and picked the pallet up. And it was a crate, a wooden crate, and it was a wheel. It was a wheel for an agricultural equipment going to Estonia. Wow. So they're waiting for a wheel. They obviously bust a wheel on a vehicle. No tyre, just a wheel. And I was taking it to a freight forwarder, which I did. It took a while getting around the M25 to Slough. Traffic is normal, but it was all good. Then I'm looking for a job. And again, it was painful. Slough, if you ever go to Slough, you're a CX driver, you ain't going to get, you're going to really struggle. I think you're really going to struggle. I struggle, and a lot of people struggle because people go there, they've got good money, they're just quoting peanuts to get out. That's what it is. But there was a job on there from Harefield to Oxford. It didn't say Harefield, it said Uxbridge to Oxford. And I weren't far from it. I was about, I don't know, 12 miles from it, something like that. And it's only a short job. It's a 30, 35-mile job, something like that. And I quoted on it, and I quoted goodish money. I thought, well, if I get it, I'll get it. And it was strange. All the jobs were going like that, and this one didn't, and it didn't register with me straight away. And I got it. They'd sent it through. No phone call, no nothing. It just sent the job through. I was just glad to get out of Slough. Then you see what it is. It's from Harefield Hospital to John Ratcliffe Hospital in Oxford. That's why people don't quote on it. They realise what it was, and it is massive hospitals. Harefield is not too bad, but John Ratcliffe, I've been there twice, and this wasn't going to a department that I'd been to. This was another department inside the Ratcliffe. But we got the job. We're out there. So we went airfield and it went really well. I got to the main reception and the consultant was waiting for the couriers. There was two couriers, me and another guy. He was already there picking up. He got to go somewhere else, and he was going to go to John Ratcliffe, but he got to go somewhere else first. And I picked up the stuff that I needed to go to Ratcliffe. It was urgent. It got to go straight there. It was machinery that they needed for operations. It went in my. It was in a flight case, two flight cases, one quite large, one's yeah. We got it done. Off we went to John Ratcliffe, and John Ratcliffe. It worked out. I always go to the deliveries. Which if you've been to the Ratcliffe, it's all round the back, and nice guys. It's all a one-way system to their stores. And he said, you're in the wrong part of the building. He says, I said, I know I'm not in the right place, but you're the bloke who could probably tell me how to get to where I'm going to go. He gave me a map, and it was really easy. It was right near the front of the hospital. It was its own separate unit. So that worked out really well. It delivered within 5 minutes. Because I've been to the Ratcliffe before, and you can be there for half an hour looking for the right department. If you have to take it to the right department, makes sense. So I've done it. I decided to park. I've got a little parking spot. It's north of Oxford, right by the A34, and it's on a country road. It overlooks the fields. It's beautiful, but it seemed like a good idea, and I parked there for the best part of an hour and a half. Nothing. Nano. There was a job Oxford to Oxford, quoted on it, my minimum. No. And there was 3 or 4 drivers in Oxford. I thought, well, at least I'm near Bicester. I'm not far from Banbury. But I thought if I don't get anything, then I'm gonna start making my way home because I had a long Wednesday, and I waited and I thought I did loads of paperwork actually. I had my laptop on and I was doing loads of it. I did loads of little bits and pieces, uh, which I got to do, which I needed to do. So it was productive, but it weren't bringing me any money in. Then I got a phone call from a shipper who's really he's um, he's no, no, it's not the right word, not the right word. He knows me and I know him, and there's a job I've done for him a fair few times, and it's the same job, Rusden to Porton Down, and he phoned me and said, "Oh, I've sent you a message. I didn't see my messages." He says, Do you fancy doing this job tomorrow?" Which suited me down to the ground. It was an early start. It was a 9:30 pickup, but I thought, yeah, that'd be nice, and that'll get me just about on target for the week. So I decided then I'm going to drive home. I went and visited me auntie who's in a care home at the moment. It's a really nice care home actually. She's only there for 6 weeks while her house they've got to do some building work. She's had a leak underneath the ground. But she's in a nice care home, and I went to visit her. And I went and visited my uncle who's lives in a flat I hadn't seen for ages. I thought, well, I'm not far away. So I did a bit of visiting relatives. It was nice actually because the weather was nice. But by then, the Hayfever had kicked in, and it didn't help parking in the bloody middle of fields. Although it's a lovely spot to park north of Oxford, but I was where all the pollen was. So that's why my eyes are like this. But hey, that was Thursday. So Thursday was a crap day. Monday and Thursday were crap. Tuesday was really good over target, and Wednesday was mega good, made up for the other two. And I got a job Friday, and I worked it out. I was only 40 quid short of target when I finished the job Friday, and I did picked it up. I got it at 9:15 actually. It's one box. It's always one box, and it goes to Porton Down. It's a science park, and it's a lovely drive down, especially when the weather's like this. Especially the last few miles because it's all country roads. It's an area you don't get a lot of work out of, and that is the problem with it. You're in a place where you're 15 miles from Andover. You're 10 miles from, so you are just not quite in a hotspot area, but you are close enough if you can get a job, quote, and you're not far from Southampton. You're only 20 odd miles from Southampton. And a job was on there before I got there from Totton to St Neots. Not St Neots Cornwall, St Neots Cambridge, which again is really good. But I thought I'm going to struggle to get there in that time allocation. It was a bit early. But I thought, let's just get the Porton Down job done. We know it's in Outbang. But before I got there, it got reposted um, with a later time schedule. I thought I could just about get there then. So I put it on there. I pulled over quickly, put it on there, the price, and that I would get there about when the hour was up. That's where I was delivering, and I left it at that. And before I got to Porton Down, I got a phone call from the shipper. Very nice lady who said, "I've just read your notes as well." She said, "How do you think you're doing?" I said, I'm actually pulling in. I'm not going into the military place. I'm going straight into the science park bit, and it will just be in out." So she said, "I'll send it over." Brilliant. So that got me well over target, and it got me back to St Neots, which is 30 miles from my house. And I did in and out of Porton Down, got it done, sent off POD and everything, and put the mileage in. And it said I've got to pick up between 11:30 and 12:30, and it said I was going to get there at 12:25. So and we did. It's exactly what happened. I got there and it was 12:25, and believe it or not, I'd picked up from this place in Tottenham 2 or 3 times, and it was taking. All I could scroll was filters to go in a commercial air filter. It was like squares, very light, very fragile, and it was going to a distribution centre in St Neots, just off the A1. And I thought, let's just get them on board. Let's get them. Got them, and they were light as a feather. They didn't even weigh half a kilo each, but they were very fragile. So I put them in blankets. I couldn't strap them down too tight so I used bungee strap. And the bloke took a photo. He was happy. I was happy, and we got the last job of the day. So we're happy. We're going. Thinking, great, I'll be done this. It's a 120 odd miles. I'll be up there 2.5 hours. Thought I'd be home by about 4:15. Nice Friday, over target, all good. But this is a big problem on Fridays. It's the M25, and it's the only way. You've got to get the M27 up to M3, round the 25, and up the A1. And Heathrow just comes to a bloody grinding halt. And I kept the shipper informed, and she was really nice about it. She says, totally understandable. Where you're going to, it's open 24/7 anyway, so it's just you just get it there safely. And it took me 4 and a bit hours. Instead of taking me under 3 hours, it took me just over 4 hours to get there. But it's Friday. You just got to chill out when you're in that situation. You get stressed out, you just drives you at the wall. Just chill out, put some music on, and just round Heathrow. I counted about 20 planes coming into land, and just trickling along. Just volume. I think people were all going away, but all good. And that was my week because when I got there, I finished. I was still home at 5:30 and fueled up, got the van prepped up, done. So that week was a good week. It was one big long day that got me that week. I did 1,600 miles and I did 48.5 hours. So let's say just under 10 hours a day. 35 hours driving, fair bit of driving, and I got just over my target. It was 1,046 without VAT, which is 1255.20 with VAT. And you take off your 10%, which goes to the VAT man, and it works out at £1,129.68, which is okay. It's not too bad at all. But I work, it's work. You're doing 50-hour week. You take out your fuel, you take out all your costs. Yeah, it's good. You should be earning good money. This is the time of the year coming up. Well, now that normally the CX is busy or busier, and it's still not at that standard that it was at like before COVID and during COVID, where it was really busy. The money's not much different either. The fuel price has come down, which helps, but I still think it's really tough. If you're a newbie or you're relying on a really good wage to, earn the money, I think it's tough. I'm luckily, my lifestyle is I've got me and my wife, the kids left home, we live okay. We haven't got a mortgage. We haven't got a mortgage. It's what, I'm 60-year-old bloke, I haven't got a mortgage. I only have to earn it to make a living for me. You know, right? That's the point. I make a living. I love the job because I love driving. I love visiting everywhere. I don't even mind tramping out now and again. You see different places. That's the lure of the job. If it was for the money, like, oh, you're going to make a stack of money, you ain't in the right job. Let's make that point. You know, to make money as a courier, you're going to have to become a shipper, I think, and subcontract jobs out. I don't want to do that. I'm happy with my van, just doing what I do. I'm going to retire in about probably 2 years, maybe not, maybe 2 years. My wife, she's sort of semi-retired anyway, and I'm hoping to cut down actually to do, in the next 12 months, probably not do a Friday, do Monday to Thursday, and have a long weekend every weekend. We'll see. We'll see how the job goes. We didn't know about COVID. We didn't know the aggro it was going to bring, all this crap. The fuel gone through the roof. You never know what's going to happen in the future. But it's a beautiful day out there. I'm not going to sit here much longer because we've got loads planned today. I've got a job for tomorrow, Monday. It's a small job. It's pick up Milton Keynes, 15 miles from my house, and it's going up to Corby. It's not a massive job. It's well paid for a small job, and it's going to be in Corby for 8 o'clock. So we're on the road. All good. So have a great rest of the weekend. The weather's getting hot. Next week is my last week for the for 3 weeks, for 2.5 weeks after that. We go away next Saturday. We're off on the bike. Me and my wife, my mate and his wife, we're going down France to Carcassonne. Then we're going across to Spain and back up to Santander through the Pyrenees. And that's coming back on Monday, first Monday in July. I couldn't even tell you what date it is. So next week it's going to be definitely full on. Hopefully Monday to Thursday, and if I earn enough money Thursday, I'm not working Friday. Simple as. So hope you're doing well. Have a good week. Push the like button if you like. Subscribe. Ring the bell. I don't know what it means. You know me. It's all unedited. You see what you get. Any comments, I will try and answer them. If I don't answer them, it's just I haven't even seen them. I tend not to look back at videos at all. I don't edit anything, so it is. Have a good rest of the weekend. Nice one.